Is Krisha Young. I'm going live here. I'm going to be recording a podcast today. So just bear with me while I get all my stuff set up here and ready to go. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to the Cabernet and Kale podcast. This is your go-to place for all things related to health and mindset. From expert wellness tips to mindset and awareness, whether you're new to exploring your health or you've been on this journey for some time, there will be something here for you. It's real, it's raw, and it's honest, so be prepared for some truth bombs coming your way. I'm Krisha Young, your lifestyle strategist and sabotage slayer. Today, I wanted to share something personal, and this is really edgy for me to talk about my stuff that goes on in my personal life and my own personal journey with things, but I'm being called more and more and more to share this in the hopes that it will help other people. I mean, that's the whole point of what I do. And so what I wanted to talk about was my journey into finding out my essence and how I overcome my fear and my sabotages. So hopefully this episode will be of value to you. And I'm doing something a little different too. I'm also live streaming the recording of my podcast. So this is like extremely outside my comfort zone. It's one thing to just record an audio recording. I can edit, I can do whatever. It's another thing to record a video. I can choose not to put it out there, but to do something live like this is it's edgy for me. So here we go. I'm gonna dive in. So for anybody who is watching live, thank you. Hi. And for those of you listening to the podcast recording, I'm just gonna dive right in. So what I wanted to share today is that I've started working with this new coach, and he had me do this exercise where I needed to ask 9 people about the qualities that I bring into a room. So this was terrifying for me for a couple of reasons. One, what if I ask these people this question and I don't bring anything amazing into the room? Like, what if they say nothing good? Or I don't know, what if I don't like what they have to say? Like, that was pretty terrifying. And what if I'm bothering them? Like, this was really putting people on the spot, and I don't like doing that. I hate to be a botherer, which, you know, it's such bullshit. But anyway, those were my edges. And I decided, obviously, because I'm on this journey of personal growth and I want to overcome all of this shit that keeps me small. So I put my big girl panties on and I made the calls, and I was left with this list of words, which were really awesome. Strength, friendly, love, I hold space for people, I'm very curious, knowledgeable, came up a lot, confidence came up. And it was a really interesting exercise because it gave me a lot of insight into the way people perceive me. And anyway, so my coach and I distilled all of the words. We discussed like each word that I was resonating with, that he was picking up on, knowing me the way he does and what he sees in me. And, you know, we really discussed this and distilled it down, and we came up with a list of qualities that, you know, we both felt summed up my quote unquote essence. And these are the words that we came up with: was wisdom, wit, love, integrity, and connection. So after listening and distilling this down, I, you know, thought about this, and my whole homework, if you will, was to sit with these words and see where I was being these things. So that's what I've been doing. And I could confidently say that wit and wisdom, 100%, they fit me perfectly. I do believe that I'm witty. I'm funny. I can be, you know, I can have sharp comebacks. Sometimes I have them in the moment. Sometimes it's like 3 days later. Whatever. And, you know, the flip side of wittiness too for me is if somebody's like irritating me or annoying me, or I think they're being stupid, which isn't nice, I know, but whatever. I can be kind of like edgy and witty around that. And wisdom is definitely something I resonated with as well, because you know, I've been called wise a lot over my lifetime, so it's a word I've heard a lot. I feel wise inside, and I believe that my soul is an older one, and you know, I'm here to impart wisdom, and that's part of why I share this stuff. Like, as soon as I learn something or discover something, I just have this like deep desire to then share it with the world, because I want other people to experience the same kind of cool things that I'm experiencing as well. That left integrity, love, and connection. And these words were struggles for me. They still kind of are a struggle for me. So integrity struck a chord with me. And it wasn't for the reasons why you think. So, you know, I'm nothing if not honest and loyal. You know, honesty and speaking my truth was something that came out of that exercise, and just having an opinion and not being afraid to share it. Like, you know, that to me is being in integrity with what I believe. And I'm very loyal, you know, like, if you're a friend of mine, you're a friend of mine. And when I meet somebody, I consider you somebody who's part of me forever. But I realize that I will do things out of my own integrity that aren't good for me out of fear. And it's fear of being alone, fear of failing, fear of being a loser, you know? So I sometimes may bend or ignore my integrity if I'm acting from fear. And just last week, this was happening. I noticed this happening. I found myself almost making 2 decisions that would have been to my detriment had I done them. And knowing that integrity was one of these essences, like, I paused. I gave it more pause than I would have had I not been doing this awareness exercise. I would have known that going and doing these things would have been out of integrity, and I would have known that, but I would have done it anyway, because I would have been ruled by my fear rather than taking a step back and realizing, like, this is bullshit. And it would have been decisions that I would have lived to regret for sure, had I done these things. So it was a very interesting insight to see how when I step outside of integrity, it's usually because I'm scared. I'm afraid that whatever it is, like, I can't do the thing that I think I should be doing, and so I'm reaching and looking to lean on other people to provide that for me. It's not cool not to have your own integrity. Like, it's important to be integral with yourself, and not just, it's beyond that loyalty to other people. So that was a big aha for me. And then love is another word I struggle with. You know, growing up as I did, there wasn't a lot of love to be found in my upbringing, and I'm sure, like, a lot of people can resonate with this. You know, my parents, they did love me in their own way, you know, the way that they knew how. But the true feeling, like the one that I feel like I have for my boys, and I probably don't even have a capacity to love my boys in the same way that maybe another mother does. But I definitely have more of a capacity to love my boys than my parents showed me, demonstrated to me. I'm not saying they didn't love me. I'm saying how they demonstrated to me. And yeah, so I never really felt that from any adult growing up. And it was something that, like, forever, even as an adult, I'm just like, I don't know what love is supposed to feel like. And I've said I love you like thousands of times, like, as you do, hey, love you. But how many of those were real, right? And I'm certain that I've never really truly allowed real love in. And I know I struggled with this with my kids even. Allowing them to love me in the way that they really want to love. Like, they are just pure love because they're just kids right now. They're young. And so that was a big cracking open for me that I did a while ago, in terms of just allowing the love that my kids had for me to sink in. And so now this is like kind of 2.0. And what I observed is that I have these expectations of others to love me, but I just don't open myself fully to that, and I'm always guarded. And this came up as part of that exercise that I did, being guarded. And being guarded is how I protect my heart from that isolating feeling of never being loved in the way a child should be loved, right? So I don't know how many of you are resonating with this, but I'm sure probably a lot of you are. And then you couple this with like witnessing my mom drown herself in alcohol every single night, and then like pouring her heart and her tears out every night. It was exhausting to watch that and to witness that and to take on all of that. There's been a massive block around my heart about letting stuff in. And yet, like everybody, love is just what I yearn for, like from the people in my life, from, you know, my kids, from a lover, from all of that. And so with this realization, I'm paying more attention now to when my heart is closed and when my heart is open. And now when I tell someone I love them, I'm checking in with that integrity first, because I want to make sure that I truly feel love for that person, and that I'm not, and most importantly to me, that I don't need to hear it back. Like, it's coming from a place of genuine caring. Like, I genuinely want to tell you that I love you, and I don't need anything back. I don't need anything in return. And I'm trying every day now to have more compassion and to open my heart, because for me to feel that love that I truly deserve and that we all deserve, and to have this, you know, community in this business that I really want to transform women, I have to crack open my heart like it's my last day on earth. And then connection is the final piece. And like love, it's a bit of a doozy. I desperately long for connection. You know, I stay in relationships long past their sell-by date because I don't want to lose connection with people. Growing up, I went to a new school every year. So for me, I was always the new kid. I had this funny name. I mean, who was named Krisha in like the 80s? Like nobody. And even today, I don't know any other Krisha, which is cool now, but back then it wasn't cool. It was all the Stephanies and the Jennifers and all that kind of stuff. So I had that against me. I was small, and I was really shy, and like I still am all those things. And, you know, I never really had that connection growing up. I never had that stability. I never had that opportunity to be able to really form deep connections with people. And it's crazy that connection is actually something that is a true essence of mine and something that I really, really, really want. Some people are totally cool without having connection, but it's definitely something that I really want. So it's interesting that I had that kind of upbringing, you know, and being bullied in middle school. I was a huge loser in high school, you know, like, there you go. And you would think that because of all of that, like, I would want to, as an adult, be this closed off loner working in some back office job where I don't have to talk to anybody or see anybody or expose myself in any kind of way, because deep down, like, isolation feels very comfortable. It feels very friendly because I was very used to being alone a lot. Yet, despite all of that, I have launched this online business where, like, I've been blessed to coach like hundreds of women. I'm doing a live stream and a podcast. Like, I'm connected. I am out there trying really hard to connect with women and people in general, to share and to help make their lives so much better. It's interesting how that kind of works. And I still seek out friends. So even like having people sort of like come in and out of my life or whatever, I still seek out friendships and connection in that kind of way. But there's a dark side to this, right? So despite the appearances, I'm terrified to be around people. Like, I'm literally terrified of crowds. I hate networking events. I do not like parties unless I'm hosting it. But even then, I'm scared shitless. Like, being in a crowd of people, like, sends me into panic overdrive, and I hate it. I prefer one-on-one. I feel most comfortable around one-on-one. It takes me forever before I'll release a video, and so doing this today is really, really, really outside my edge. When I meet new people, I usually never connect with them again. I don't belong to any kind of social organization. And yeah, up until recently, almost every true close friend that I ever had moved away, like really far away. Like I would meet a friend and like we'd get along and listen to this as an adult. But even as a kid, when I did have friends or whatever, like either I would move or they would move. And then I'd be left again with like no friend and have to like find new people again. That hasn't been happening recently, which is good. It means that I'm probably shaking some of this, but you know, like why would I have pushed away? Why am I pushing away the very thing that I long for and I'm good at apparently, because of fear. And so it's fear of being seen for who I am, and who I am is an imperfect ball of mess. And, you know, I have the thoughts that run through my head that are totally not the words that were given to me on that exercise. You know, I feel like I'm insecure and I'm negative and I'm doubtful and I'm selfish and I'm a loser and I'm stupid. I mean, like, how's that for a beautiful list for you, right? And these are all the thoughts and the beliefs about myself that keep me disconnected. And so how am I supposed to find the love and the connection I long for if I remain in that disconnected space, right? So not only do I need to open up my heart more, but I need to walk through my fear of being seen. I need to surround myself with people and I need to let go and move on from those times when I do get rejected, because we all get rejected. We can't be everybody's everything, right? And not everybody's gonna like me, and that's cool. Like I have to get to a point where I'm okay with that, and I'm getting there. So I made a decision that I'm no longer going to be settled. Like I am no longer going to settle for being ignored, and I'm no longer going to hide in the shadows, because then I'm not helping people. And with connection being my goal, I'm taking some big, bold action steps like this one to be able to connect to my community more, in the hopes that this is something that you can resonate with and maybe see yourself in some of this and that. So my question is, like, where are you closing yourself off, right? Like, where are you sabotaging yourself from the very things that you long for, right? Explore your edge. So one of the things that my coach asked me to do was to pick one of the essences and to do it 1% more. So me being me, I went 50% more, obviously. So where can you do a little more of the thing that you long for? And if you're not sure what that is, think about the thing that you feel you don't have enough of, right? So often we're like, you know, because I'm always like, oh, I don't have enough, you know, close friends, or I don't have enough people who I can connect with. Well, hello, because I was pushing that away, right? So where do you in your life feel like you don't have enough of something? You know, if you're being honest with yourself, is it love? Is it money? Is it, you know, whatever it is, where do you feel that you're not getting something? That is where you need to focus on getting to your edge there and exploring and discovering, where are you blocking that and why are you blocking that, and doing the work around like forgiving yourself and taking the action steps that you need in order to walk through that, you know. And when you start to see and realize that you're mostly acting out of fear, you know, you just kind of like get over that pretty quickly when you realize that this is a really stupid reason for me not to have the things that I want in my life. And fear is a doozy. It is a doozy. And, you know, it's there for a reason. And I could do I did do a whole other podcast on fear. I could talk about that all day long. So yeah, guaranteed what you're rejecting, whatever it is in your life, out of fear. So, you know, take some time, journal about it, or meditate. I love meditating. I think it really helps bring that awareness into yourself when you get quiet and you start observing what is going on. And obviously hire a really awesome coach. Too. That's what I say. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you have found a lot of value in it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments. If you're watching the live stream, if you're on the replay, please leave comments or anything like that. If you disagree, if you agree, if you're confused on something, just let me know, and I'd be more than happy to clarify. If you're listening to this on the podcast, again, I would love to hear from you. If this inspires you, I have a lot more stuff. You can find me at krishayoung.com. You can subscribe to my newsletter there, and you'll get the Make Peace with Food guide, which is really awesome. And you can also subscribe to this podcast. And if you're feeling really super generous today, I would love a review. Reviews will help me get more noticed on iTunes, and which means more and more people will be able to share in this knowledge and this growth journey that we're all on together. So thank you so much. I appreciate whoever's been watching, and I appreciate whoever's been listening to this really cool sort of hybrid live stream / podcast recording. And I love you guys. And see, now I just said I love you. Oh, hey, I've got some people on live stream that are commenting. Awesome. I'm going to stop recording the podcast now. And thank you very much for listening. And again, you can find me at krishayoung.com. And if you would like to email me about any of this stuff, my email is krisha@krishayoung.com. Thank you. Hello, whoever's watching live. Hey, it's Laura. Good to see you. Oh, Lucia. Hey. I don't know if anybody else is on, but I'm done doing the live stream and the podcast now. That was pretty crazy. All right, well, I'm going to finish this off, and so if anybody wants to re-watch it, you can go ahead, and I will probably put this out as a YouTube video as well for people to watch anytime they want, and it will be published as a podcast probably near the end of June. So thank you very much, you guys, for watching and supporting me. I really appreciate you being here. Mwah. And I will see you on the next one.